Animated GIFs are one of the coolest kinds of animations and also one of the simplest because they are short. We're going to learn the process of rotoscoping and apply it to an animated GIF. First, we're going to need to open your practice file in Photoshop. Photoshop has motion capabilities just as Premiere and After Effects does. So open Photoshop, go to File, Open, and navigate to the Pickup folder and Animated GIFs, and you'll see Practice Rotoscoping. Within this folder, you'll see a few different files that you can select. If you want to play them, you can play them and see which one you want to pick. You're going to choose only a small few seconds of this footage to rotoscope. I'm going to choose the one of the golfer, and I'm going to import it into, or open it in Photoshop. So a couple things to notice when you have your file open in Photoshop is it automatically resets your workspace to a motion workspace. At the bottom, you'll see your timeline, and to the right, you'll still see your layers palette, but it groups the video into a layer. So you have your video under Video Group 1. The first thing we want to do is scrub our timeline and select an area of the footage that you want to turn into your rotoscoped animated GIF. So I'm just going to choose a portion of this video footage by scrubbing my timeline. I want my footage to begin right about there, and I want her stroke to end right there. So I've shortened the time frame of the whole clip considerably. The second thing that you want to do is you're going to change your frame rate to your video footage. So to find the frame rate, you're going to go to the timeline flyout menu, which is this little button over here, and you're going to click on Set Timeline Frame Rate. You don't want to do 25 frames per second because that would require you to draw on 25 drawings. We're going to simplify this, and we're going to drop it down to between 8 and 10. So I'm going to put 10 frames per second, hit OK, and now you can zoom in on your timeline with this little slider bar at the bottom, and you can see the sections that I have split up into my frame rates. If you really want to shorten it up, it might look a little choppy, but you can drop it down to 6 or 8 frames per second. But typically, if you keep it around 10 to 12, you're okay. Once you have your video timeline selected, the area that you want to edit, I would zoom in fairly close so that you can see how many frames it's necessary to draw. And some of the frames you might be able to jump a little bit. But right now I have several frames to draw, about 20 frames or so that I need to draw. What we're going to do is add a new video layer over top of our video, just a blank video layer. So you can do this by going to Layer, Video Layers, New Blank Video Layer. And notice over in your Layers palette, it groups it right above the other layer. What you need is for this to be separate, individual. So you want to drag it out of that. And now notice in your timeline, you can bump your timeline a little bit, and you can scroll back a little bit. You see where layer 2 is. Layer 2 we're going to rename, and we're going to call this either fill or outline or drawing or something that's going to be appropriate, so you know it's your drawn layer. And we're going to drag it to be right over top of our video. So now you're just going to grab your brush, choose an appropriate brush. If you want to choose a different brush other than a hard edge brush, there's plenty of other drawing tools in here that you can select. You can vary the size of your brush as well by holding the back bracket and the forward bracket on your screen. So that's on your keyboard shortcut. And you can also choose your colors. So you can choose which colors you would like for, let's say, the clothing or the golf club or whatever aspects of the drawing that you want to make. You also could use the onion skinning. Onion skinning allows you to see previous frames. So if I go over here to the tab on the timeline and hit Enable Onion Skins, you can see your previous frames to see the motion that your character is going to take. You're eventually going to turn the video timeline off so that you won't see that, but you will just see the animation. So you can turn your onion skin on and off. And onion skin is, it's named that because that's what animators used to use to draw on. To finalize your animation, you want to add probably a background. You could do something simple that's not going to move. You could draw a fill background. Again, this is just your practice version before you try to figure out what movement you're going to do in your own animated GIF and rotoscoped animation. So you're just using an Adobe stock footage for now, but you will record and design your own for your final project. So to finalize this practice version, what you want to do is, again, choose a background. You can make a new layer, draw something for the background, fill it with a color. It's really up to you. I'm just going to fill mine with white right now. And I want to make sure that my timeline is set. And I have turned off my video layer. I can disable the onion skins so I can just see my animation playing. And that's all the only frames I have so far. To finalize this, I'm going to go to File, Export, Save for Web. And in the Save for Web box, you're going to see GIF. So make sure, or GIF, both are acceptable pronunciations. You're going to select that. And down here at the bottom under looping options, make sure you change that to forever because you want it to loop forever. Specify a spot where you're going to save it to. And you'll have your animation. So remember, for these animations, this practice version, you can add color, you can add a background. It's really up to you how you want to finalize your animation. Place it in the drop folder, your completed GIF, and start brainstorming for your final animated version.